And we're live. Hey, everybody. Welcome into the Flippin Hippos YouTube channel. Today is Tuesday, February 18th, and I have a very special guest. She's actually here because I like having her here, and I invited her because I like having her on the channel. She's been here probably 3 or 4 times before, but she's here this time by popular demand and lots of requests. I got tons of messages and emails and comments for a couple of months requesting Megan Mawhinney. Say hello.
Hi, you guys. Thanks for having me, Star.
Yeah, thank you for coming. Megan, like I said, she's been on the channel a couple of times before. You guys always seem to like it when she's here. Everyone probably likes you.
I hope so.
The reaction seems to be, we love Megan. And I always get questions. When are you having Megan back? You're like the most requested person. So
thank you, guys.
Second most requested is probably Robert. And that thought came to mind because I think that I probably attract people who like to sell jeans and plush because that's what I teach. And then you and Robert are the jean and plush royalty. David and Bill are here. They say hi.
Hello.
I'm going to go through the chat real quick. I see Amy's here. Pete, hello. Lisa Ann, Lady Halfling. Shopping on the low. Scott is here. Hi, Scott. Teresa, Thrifty Mina, Yvonne. Christian is probably driving, right? Christian's usually driving while he's watching me.
That's dangerous.
He plugs it in and listens to it like it's a podcast.
Okay. All right. So not actually watching.
Yeah, he doesn't actually watch me. He just listens like it's a podcast. Tammy's here and she says, we love you, Star. Well, thank you so much. I love all of you guys too. You guys are awesome. Delilah's Vintage. Lindsay's first live show. Well, welcome in. Thank you. Brian Quist is here, probably just to say hi to Megan.
Hi, Brian.
Hi, Brian. Today is July 4th, Brian. John, hi. And Lindsay Richardson is excited for this. Found some awesome jeans. That's cool. I always love when I find good jeans. So if you guys didn't know, I think I told you on my live show last week, I put up a post it was Valentine's Day. I put up a post in my group that said it was March 1st.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, welcome to March, everybody. Let's share our Instagram. And Brian told me privately in a different group, because he didn't want to call me out in front of my group, which I wouldn't have cared because I constantly am an amateur and make mistakes and I'm an idiot and I laugh at it. But he pointed it out and I'm like, oh my gosh. So now anytime I post anything about dates, Brian's like, is it Christmas? Is it the 4th of July? Because I don't know.
Wake up one morning and think it was like a new month.
No, I actually copy pasted the wrong post because I usually schedule out the posts I put in the group, but I hadn't that day, and I just quickly searched my group for Follow Friday. And I
had the wrong.
Yeah, I copy pasted the text and then put it in with the photo without even reading it. I was still laying in bed, like I just woke it up. So I do fun stuff like that all the time. So you guys can always call me out. It's fine. I make mistakes all the time. Can we go over what we price each brand of jeans? Okay, here's the thing about that, John. We would love to, and we've tried that in the past, but there's so many.
Yeah.
I think we had 100 or more.
Like maybe people could put in the chat like specific brands and we could each say what we would list it for. But yeah, just to go through every brand
we tried that before. We did. We collaborated on the list a day ahead of time and then I alphabetized it and we each had a copy and we started with the A's and I don't even think we got halfway through it and we were already over an hour. So prices and demand do fluctuate, but here's the thing. When you're me, my prices don't fluctuate. I pick a price that I'm going to sell Miss Me for, and that is the price I'm going to list Miss Me at until they're not selling it anymore.
Yeah, me too. I don't think I change my prices throughout the year. I have a price in my head, I list it, and I forget about it.
Yeah, I don't. They do fluctuate. They will get the race to the bottom. You'll have people pricing them far too low. I have seen lately a lot of silver jeans going for like $20. And I'm here to tell you, if you're watching this show right now and you're not listing silver for $40 to $50, you're out of your mind and you need to stop. because I can get more than 20 for Gap, Old Navy, and American Eagle. So why are you selling silver for 20?
Get out of the chat if you list silver jeans for 20.
Get that. No. That is my soapbox, though. So I have a price maybe once a year, like you said, throughout the year. Maybe at the end of the year, I'll double check just to see. But I'm always raising our prices by 50 cents to $1 every January to accommodate the postal raise every year.
Me too. That's funny you say that because I just increased everything again. And I don't go back and edit old items that increase, but just like all the incoming stuff, I just add a couple bucks.
Yeah, I don't change any of the current listings. But moving forward, I add 50 cents to $1. And I do price really high. Of course, I'm probably the only person left in the world. No, I'm not. You too.
Me and you.
Silver jeans at 50. But every other month, I go in and lower the prices on our clothes 5%. And then the alternate month, I'm working on hard goods. And hard goods have to sit in our store for 6 months to get lowered $1.
Oh,
so,
wow.
yeah. Like right now, I'm working on hard goods for the month of February. So I know anything from July or August can go down $1. And then in March, I'll be working on clothes. And then in April, it's back to hard goods, September, October. If that makes sense to everybody following along? Probably not. I'm so convoluted with how I do things, but now, I do lower the prices.
Are your plush included in your hard goods?
Yes, plush, ties, shoes, handbags, actual hard goods. Anything that isn't like, regular clothes, oversaturated clothes, I feel like they can go down 5% every other month.
Okay.
Until it doesn't make sense, and then they go do our clearance, which is $9.99 free ship for first class, and $9 8 ship for jeans. And then after they have a chance there, they go to auction, which is 99 cents $7.50 for first class, or $3.99 8 ship for jeans.
And you do those in the flat rate envelope, right?
Yes, padded.
Oh, that's right. You do the nicer one. I just do the paper, the cardboard.
I like these because they really stretch if you have to get two.
They look better too.
They do look better, and they're good for Poshmark. So
where do you start NYDJ? I'll let you start with that.
26.
That's funny. Me too. If it's like a really small size, or maybe it has like a hemmed in seam or a little bit of stretching, yeah, like 26, 28. If they're better, I'm doing like 32, 34, maybe even 36.
Okay. So if mine have anything wrong with them, they're going for 22, 24. I start at 26, but Whitley Ware says, I can't ever get jeans to sell for more than 20, including 7. So 7 for all mankind. So are you being patient enough? Do you know that the average piece of clothing on eBay takes 6 to 9 months to sell?
Especially 7 for all mankind, I would say. Like the boot cut ones, those plain ones will sit forever. There's like 40,000 listings for those on eBay anyways.
Yeah, and then with the dojos, they're more popular, but you're waiting for the one person who A, can afford it, and B, justify it and spend the money on themselves to spend $75, $80 on a pair of jeans.
There's like a very specific person looking for dojo jeans. It's not like everyone. It's an older style. They don't make it anymore, so it's not something that everyone is even aware of.
Okay, so across the way, I just saw, like, I guess my neighbors are moving around in a window way over there, but it looked like somebody was at my window looking in at me.
I was wondering why you.
And I'm like,
what's wrong?
I listen to true crime too much. Somebody's gonna kill me. So she says she has her clothes listed for a year. So then you want to look at your other best practices. But in general, most clothes are going to take 9 months to sell, 6 months to 9 months. And if they're still not moving, you need to look at your other best practices. Do you have best offer on? Do you offer free shipping? Which, by the way, is not really free. So if it's listed at 20 with 8 ship, put it for 28 with free ship and see if it'll move. If you have it listed, sometimes it's the opposite. Like I just sold a pair of Miss Me's for 36 plus 8 ship that I could not get to sell for 48 free ship. So play with it. You know what I mean? But make sure you have best offer on, build your prices higher for that, offer free shipping. Offer free returns. What are some of the other best practices I'm missing? Good photos, good
Yeah, I was
keywords.
gonna say, look at your pictures. Some of my old listings have terrible photos, and I need to redo them, but I haven't. You want a hug? You want to come say hi?
Hi, curly hair.
Hi.
Hi. He's so cute. Silver booty jean shorts. I'll start around 25 or 30. What about you?
Which silver ones? If it's a really small size, I'd probably start at like 32, 34. If it's a bigger size, probably like 50 or 60.
That's you definitely price higher than I do. But you also don't have a Keith telling you price everything too high.
You already said hi.
Hi.
Yeah, that's the tablet and mommy's computer.
Here's a good one for you because I don't really do Levi's anymore.
Oh, Levi's?
Yeah.
If it's one of the junior styles, like what was it called? It's called like the So Low. There's like a couple specific juniors ones, and those I can do in the 30s. If it's a basic Levi's, probably 28.
And is there a way to tell the older ones or how old they are?
I'm not an expert on Levi's by any means. I know the older ones have like a different tag, but I don't know how to tell. If it's like 100% cotton or says made in Mexico and looks old, I know those are vintage. Mommy's right here. You see mommy on camera?
Mommy.
Hi, mommy.
Mommy.
Mommy's right here.
Mommy.
If we missed any more questions.
Mommy.
Oh yeah, Levi's 2 super low. Yes, that's what it's called. And there'll be a junior size with it.
Which is an odd number.
Yes.
So if you didn't know, odd numbers are junior, even are women or misses. And then women, because we have to be so complicated about everything, sometimes our jeans are sized like men's and it has like a 28 or a 36. But this is why jeans are so why do women have to be so complicated? A size, say 20, could be a plus size 20 or a size 20 waist.
Yeah.
That's why it's important to measure them. Somebody asked if I do free returns on jeans. I do, but no. If I have free shipping on them, it's buyer pay return. And some of them, when I flip it just to see if they'll move, if they're paying shipping, I have free returns.
Yeah, I don't do free returns at all on anything, but.
Men's have larger pockets. Typically, yes. Men's pants have larger
like you
pockets.
can stick your whole hand in the front pocket normally.
Yep. I would think that most of the jeans I've seen that have like the 2-digit waist size for sizes are the higher end ones, and they're just like kind of obviously women's because they'll have a name like BKE Stella.
Yeah.
It's a woman's clearly.
And you just kind of know, I think, after you see these brands so many times, like you just kind of know what their sizing system is. Deborah says, how do you list the ones that say size 13, 14, for example? Me personally, it depends on the brand. If it says 13, 14, it's like Levi's, I'd probably list it as a juniors, but most brands, I would probably list it as a 14 and just stick it under women's.
I put both in the title.
Well, yeah, that too. Sorry.
Yeah. And then in the item specifics, I usually put the junior size just because I would rather err on the size of someone getting them and having a little room to spare. They're less likely to return it than them being too tight.
Yeah, that's true.
Lowest value I will take for True Religion is 40, period, bottom line.
Yeah, I think same here. I don't sell a lot of True Religion, but that is definitely a higher end brand, and I wouldn't go less than that unless there was like a flaw or something.
Yeah, if there's a flaw, or if they've been around for, like, I'm not opposed on Poshmark selling them for 30 or 35 if they've been around forever because they're also paying shipping over there.
Yeah.
So that still comes out to around $40. So. Okay, so if a jeans have both sizes, like a Lucky Brand does that a lot, like a size 6/28. Which one do you put in the item specifics drop down?
The item specifics, I'll do 6. But
I do 6 as well.
I'm thinking of Lucky Brand though, like specifically, because I just did that the other day. I did 6. If it was like a higher end label, I might do the other size, but it's kind of like a case by case situation. I don't have like a black and white rule for that.
I don't either. I think it just depends. It could be my mood that day, to be honest. I usually put both in the title always, and both in the box with all the measurements always, the description box. But as far as the specifics, I think it just depends. Yeah. Sometimes it'll autofill in, and I'm like, oh, whatever it put is fine.
We'll just leave it at that. Mandy says, do you put offers on your jeans or just let them sit until you get what you want? I do offers on everything.
Me too. Me too. I wanted to mention this just because I like to reiterate this a lot on this channel about my soapbox, price high, and don't race to the bottom and all of that. But also don't accept lowballs just because you're desperate for a sale, or don't accept lowballs because you feel pressured. And the reason I mentioned this is we had a flame, I don't even know what brand it was. It was a fire resistant. And you guys know like the flame resistant clothes are worth a lot more money, right? So we had this shirt. I actually found it in our death pile when I was cleaning that out. It's a Bulwark. It's a Henley like work shirt, but it's, I don't know if you can see it. It's fire resistant. And I had it listed at 36, which I felt pretty confident was higher than most. And some guy offered me 20, and then he offered 25, and he said in all caps, I will not pay a dime more. So I said, okay, decline. And 3 minutes later, it sold for $36 full price to another buyer.
Okay, I was going to say to him or to a different buyer?
To a different buyer.
It was him.
But so don't feel like just because someone says I won't pay more, then screw that person. Honestly, to be frank, screw that person, because somebody else will buy it at full price. You don't have to make every sale on every offer, and not every buyer is going to become an offer. If they're not coming up to where you want them to, then don't worry about it. And remember, every time you get an offer on an item, it gives you a free boost in searches, and so the right person might buy it.
And if they're being grumpy like that, I might not want to do business with them anyways.
Mm-hmm.
If they're coming off like that. It seems like I've had a lot of problems in the past with people who came off strong in the beginning, and then they get the item and there's always something wrong with it.
Oh, always. I had to block someone last night because they got 2D.
Oh.
So first of all, they sent me an offer for less than half of these. They were either Gap or White House Buckmark. I can't remember their jeans. And they sent like a really low ball offer and asked, what is the length on these jeans? So I countered with 10% off, and I wasn't rude. I was very nice. I said, all of the measurements for these jeans are included in the description for you. I put 8 in there. She countered back with another quarter up and said, how dare you? You could have just answered my question. It wouldn't have taken you but a minute. And I was like,
no.
You know what I would like to say to her? You're about to buy something, you're offering on it, and you can't take a minute to look at the description box. I'm not about to go pull up my listing and go to the description box to get. That's how I feel. Like, I took the time to take the 8 measurements and to put them in the listing. It is now your responsibility to look at the listing before you buy it. But now she wants me to go. I would have had to pull up the listing and look. And I know that there's a lot of sellers and people out there that would be like, well, just to make a happy customer, I would have done it. I didn't have time for that shit. Sorry, but I was doing dishes and I still had to share Poshmark. I had a lot going on. I kind of feel like if I provide that information for someone, and I just swore, didn't I? That's okay.
Well,
I feel strongly.
If they're not going to read the description, I feel like they're probably going to return it anyways. Like, what if the waist isn't the right size for them? What if they didn't read that there was a stain on the knee?
Yep.
So
then she came back with another 15 cents and said, again, tell me the length.
No, thank you.
So I declined and blocked her. And I thought, well, maybe in the future she'll learn how to look at descriptions.
Yeah, that just seems like a problem waiting to happen. She'll get the item and then the length won't be right. Oh, you want to eat this? Okay.
Robert's probably listed jeans. Build-A-Bear. Do you do better with jeans on Poshmark or eBay?
I'm sorry, what?
Do you do better with jeans on Poshmark or eBay?
Oh, eBay. I have some shoes on Poshmark, but that's about it. All my jeans are on eBay. Here you go. Can you sit over there at the table? Can you sit down?
He has Jello.
Yes.
I'm jealous of his Jello. Did you give him a fork to eat Jello with?
He got the fork himself.
I was gonna say when I was a kid, I wouldn't use a spoon. I used a fork for my Jello.
Yeah, he picked that out. I
I
would
think
have.
it was hopeful thinking it was my grandma's Jello with the fruit in it.
It does have fruit in it, actually, but it's not your grandma's.
It's not my grandma's unless she's making it from heaven. Ambrosia. So I think overall we absolutely sell more on Poshmark than we do. I mean eBay than we do Poshmark. Clearly, we had 38 from eBay today and 2 on Posh.
Yeah, I had one on Poshmark and 80 for eBay. So yeah, not very much.
But I think I sell more jeans on Poshmark overall, probably.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of our sales on eBay right now are remotes.
Well, yeah, you have so many of those. That's like a constant stream of like income from each one.
Yeah. So the measurements I put in the listing, I'll tell you mine and then Megan can tell you hers. I measure I actually have an entire video showing exactly how I measure, but you guys can search for that later if you want to watch it. The waist measured flat, doubled. And then the hips doubled. The front rise, the back rise, the inseam, and the outseam, and the leg opening.
I do the same, except for I don't do the back rise and I don't do the total length. And then for my waist and hip, I just do the measurement lying flat. I don't double it. But I write that in the listing as well. That it's just across.
Yeah, I just put waist and hips, and then so they note their waist measurement. Whitley's wears just up their price on True Religion jeans. Get it. Those sell for a lot. A pair of Dave, that I almost called Dawn Dave. So Dawn says, "Hi ladies, I have a pair of Adriana Goldschmied. They are called the Stockholm Buttonfly, and I can't tell if they're men's or women's. The size reads 30. So how deep are the front pockets? And I don't know if it matters so much on pants as it does shirts. Like, do they put the buttons on the opposite side on jeans too?
I thought they did. Well, sometimes. I've seen some that weren't. I just listed a pair of men's American Eagle and it was on the other side.
Yeah, I always just remembered for the most part.
The pockets is like the giveaway.
Yeah.
Me.
And then I've always remembered because I'm left-handed and I'm a girl, so the buttons are on the left side.
I'm a lefty too. Did you know that?
I think so.
We're definitely twinsies. Stop.
We are. Same business model. So cute. That little giggle. Colleen says, "Hi."
Hi, Colleen.
Do you both promote your listings? Yes, 1%. And I end and restart every Friday.
I do too, between 1% and 3%. I used to do mine in like 3-day increments and I'd end it and do a new one. However, my account is like messed up right now and eBay can't figure out what's wrong with it. But I can't add any items to the campaign with the regular like feature. Loki, stop. So I've just done one campaign and I have to go in and bulk edit and add the listings each week, my new ones. Otherwise, I would do what you do and I would end it, start a new one. But I can't right now.
That's really weird.
I've called multiple times. They said it's going to take like 1 to 3 months to hear back from someone in IT to see what's wrong with my account.
Yeah, as soon as they fix the item description, the item specifics.
Yeah.
James wants to know, do you put the actual waist size or the tag size in the drop-down box? You always want to put the actual tag size in there or you're going to get an item as described. That's for the actual size.
Yeah, same here. Then in the listing, I'll put what the actual measurements are.
Yeah, Robert, well, he does Plush, but he puts a yardstick in with all of his Plush, and they always ask him. And the same with me. I always put my Plush next to a measuring tape. And I just got a question last week. Would you say your Minnie Mouse is 11 inches because I wanted to match this Mickey. And they sent me this picture of them holding a Mickey Mouse plush in the air. Like, I can't tell how big your Mickey Mouse plush is in the air held over your dirty ass bed with all the clothes on it. What am I supposed to do? So I responded to them. There's a picture of it next to a measuring tape. And then they got snotty with me. Well, you could have just said. Like, every time you remind people that they don't read, they get very defensive.
Yeah, but that's what the listing is there for. I don't even know why they'd waste time sending you a message when it's like right in front of them.
I don't understand the concept of whether you have a lot of money or very little money, or you never have money and this is your birthday money and it's a very special treat for yourself, or you have expendable income and you shop all the time. I still don't understand, if you're going to part with your money and buy something for yourself, why are you not looking at all of the pictures and all of the information on the listing?
I don't know. I want to meet one of these buyers. You should have them live on your show sometime and we can like ask. Like,
have a roast. You can roast them. No, I spent 3 hours researching the recliner movie theater chair I got for myself for Christmas. Because I guess I'm rare, but I always read everything. I look at the reviews. I compare stuff.
Me too.
It took me a year to pull the trigger on that hair thing.
Oh, how do you like that, by the way?
I like it a lot. I have very thin, very fine hair.
Me too.
Guys, hold on a moment. We're going to have a girl second.
Bring
I can do my hair in like 4 chunks now. It's like one big clump. Dry. 2 seconds. It takes like 3 minutes to do this.
Yeah. And it gives you
soaking wet
every time. Yeah, I love it too.
I
Need to
love
put it down in the description because I did mine earlier today with the what is it even called?
It's the Revlon oval shaped hair dryer brush.
Yeah. I'm using that. Anyways, I used that today. So if you like how this looks, Star will put a link down in the description for it.
I did mine to that today too. From soaking wet to dry.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah, I did research for a year. I watched girls on YouTube use it. I asked you about it. Like, I never buy stuff without fully researching it. So
yeah.
All right,
now, like, I feel like I know like the value of money more, because if my profit on each item is like $10 to $12, if I go buy something, like, I'm thinking about how many listings I have to do to make up for what I spent.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Yeah. I think when you worked outside of the house, you always thought, well, if I treat myself to this, how many hours of work does that equate to?
Yeah.
Kind of.
But I don't want to have to do that many more. So I put a lot of things back now.
Yeah, I did get myself 2 plushies. I'll show them tomorrow in my haul. I bought myself 2 hamsters.
You?
Huh?
Are they for you?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
They were 50 cents a piece, and they're hamsters. And if there's anything I love more in this world than hippos or Baby Yoda, it's rodents and hamsters.
All right. 50 cents. I think that's okay.
They're so cute. Okay. Anyways, sorry for the sidebar.
Jeans and reselling.
Colleen says she has a fix for that promoted listing problem. So message her after the show.
Okay. All right. I'll message you. It's really annoying. I didn't realize that was happening to other people too.
So I find it common on almost every single pair of jeans. I'm talking to Bailey, who asked if we find it common that on men's jeans, the inseam is different than the tag. I find it common on every brand, men's and women's, the waist, the ends, everything's different than the tag. And that's because people have worn them. They're used. Sometimes they get stretched out or they lose elasticity.
Yeah. Or if you dry it in a hot dryer, it's going to shrink up a little bit, especially because most jeans are a cotton blend.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's why I always say it's so important to put both the tag size and all the measurements, because most people, most men especially, find one thing they like and they'll just buy it over and over. But women are so much harder. You want to do both.
Deborah said lots of different opinions on the rise of jeans. I use super low as 7 inches or less. Low rise is 7 to 9.5, regular mid rise 9.5 to 11, and high rise 11 or above. However, I always list what the manufacturer says. Yeah, me too. I just put whatever the tag says. If they don't specify, I typically just leave it as mid rise unless it's like obviously like super low or if it looks really big. But I typically leave mine at mid-rise, unless the tag says otherwise.
Better Barbie, you did not miss the whole show. We're about halfway through, so feel free to watch. So I always go with what the tags like. And that includes not bell bottom, flare and boot cut too. Because sometimes the manufacturer's tag will say skinny or boot cut, and you can tell by looking at them and measuring them that you think no, these are flare.
Yeah.
You always want to go with what the tag says.
Yeah.
Period.
And you can obviously put like something else in the listing too. Like, hey, the tag says this is a flare, but it's only 7 inches across. Like,
Right.
Make your own decision.
But as far as rise, I do 7 is low.
Yeah.
To 9.5 probably, yeah. And then 10 and above is high.
But it depends on the brand though too. Like I just listed a pair of American Eagle and it was like high rise jegging, and I feel like the rise was like 8 or 9 inches. But
yeah, but that's where you just got to go with what they say. But like on plus size, I hear a lot of people say, well, plus size is going to be different because it's going to be 12-inch rise because it's covering more area.
Yeah.
But I still just go by measurements and say high waist. You guys put more questions in. Feel free to ask us anything about jeans. Why would someone message you on Instagram? I would first of all ignore that.
Yeah, I just noticed that too. I was like, on Instagram, what?
Honestly, if someone ever messaged me on social media about an order they made on a platform, I would just didn't see it.
Well, it should, I think, go through that business platform. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't respond to that.
Yeah. And speaking of, I guess I've been trying to find a nice way to say this for like 2 weeks. And I've had guests on the channel, but so I didn't make an announcement. But if you ever purchased a guide from us and you can't find out where to download it from or you can't find it, please do not message us on eBay. Please do not message us on eBay about your plush guide or your clothing guide. We have the email flippinhipposhelp@gmail.com. You can go to my Facebook group. You can private message me. But once you start messaging me on Facebook about stuff like that and asking me to contact you, you could get us in serious trouble and risk us getting suspended on eBay. So please do not do that.
Yeah, I've had a couple people reach out to me on eBay and I've just told them, hey, like reach me at my regular email. Like I don't want our conversation to get like flagged for any reason.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
Tammy says, what do you list your silver capris? Just found some today. For me, the capris definitely don't do as well as the regular length. So they're a smaller size, maybe like $32. If they were bigger, maybe $38. Obviously, if they're new or in really good condition, maybe a little more.
Yeah, like around there. I usually knock about $5 off my target price on a brand if they're capris.
For me, capris in general just don't do as well.
I don't think I ever find that many.
Well, I don't even look. There's like a whole separate like capri section at most of the thrift stores I go to, and I personally never really look there.
Ours are all mixed in. Okay, Lady Halfling has a great question, but I'm going to break it down into 2. She wants to know what we consider the best 3 brands. So I'm going to let you go first, and then I'll go. But name the best 3, like bolos, and then your best 3 bread and butters.
Well, best 3 bolo would obviously, for me, be Mother, Madewell, I can't think of another really good third one. I would say silver, but it would have to be like a plus size silver in really good condition. Yeah, let's go with that. Mother, Madewell, and like a plus size silver jean. And then bread and butter 3, let's go Torrid, Old Navy Rockstar specifically, and the plus size American Eagle.
Okay. So 2 of my bolos are the same as yours, but I've only ever found them in ThredUp boxes, the mother and the Madewell. I have never found them in the wild, but I've gotten them in ThredUp boxes, and they sell for high money and they move quick. And then the third one that came to mind is J Brand, but I've also never been able to source that myself. It came from a box, and the same with the frame.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
frame.
Yeah.
I know. But those are all brands that I can't. So I want to pick one that I can actually go source myself and find in the wild here. And I'm going to go with silver because it moves a little bit quicker than Miss Me or True Religion.
See, we're twinsies.
Yep. And then my bread and butters, J-Lo, although it's lower end price-wise, like 18 to 22, depending, J-Lo sells within 2 days every time I put it in my store.
J-Lo?
Yes. They're one of my favorite bread and butters. I get them for 99 cents. I list them, and 2 days later they sell. And most of them I find are smaller sizes, and they'll ship first class.
Okay.
And
right.
They sell fast, though. So it's like a really quick return. And sometimes that's just as good as a higher one that you wait for. So J-Lo. I'm like thinking.
I know. It's like off the top of your head. You're like, I don't know.
Well, Chico's So Lifting or So Slimming.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, those are good.
And probably Old Navy, Rockstar.
We're so unique, aren't we?
We are. But I used to live in those until I discovered Not Your Daughter's jeans. I lived in, those were my favorite jeans for like 12 years. And I used to go to thrift stores to find them because they were hard to find.
The pull-on ones are like my favorite. The pull-on Rockstar.
That's too much like not pants.
I know, but they look like jeans. So
I like jeans. I'm like one of those weird people. I could sleep in jeans.
Really? All I wear the last, probably since I left like my banking job, I wear leggings every single day. I don't think I've worn jeans in like 5 or 6 years.
Wow. I live in jeans. Bailey is now saying the buyer attacked them on Instagram, so I would block them everywhere.
They attacked them on Instagram? What?
Yeah. Block them everywhere and report them and cordially invite them to kiss your butt. Biggest pair of men's jeans you've ever sold, or just biggest pair of jeans, I guess.
Probably like a men's, maybe like 44. I haven't sold any large men's jeans in a long time.
I think the largest ones I had were the Wrangler Fire Resistant, and they were like a 46 or 48.
Lori says Rag and Bone are a good one to look for too. Yeah, the only time I find Rag and Bone, well, when I do find them, they're all really small sizes. I've never found one in like a decent size.
I've never found them at all.
Really?
I
found them since I moved to Texas. I didn't find them in Washington ever.
I never find anything here. Everything good I get is literally from ThredUp. If I go out sourcing here on any given weekend, I'm going to come home with tons of Gap, Old Navy, American Eagle, maybe Chico's, maybe Torrid if I'm super duper lucky that weekend, and occasionally a Silver and Miss Me, and that's it.
Need to move. I like broadened my whole like shopping horizons. There's so many like more and just like better things here at least than the thrift stores I used to go to.
Yeah, I mean we plan to move in the future, but not anytime soon.
Yeah. And ThredUp sent me garbage, so I don't know how you're getting the good stuff from them.
Maybe they know I do videos.
Probably.
They're like, oh shoot, this is that hippo girl. We got to make it look good and juicy on her video.
Yeah. Oh, like literally half of the box had to be just completely like trashed.
I have never that bad. The last one I just did, that was the only one I've ever gotten that had zero poop and that many. Holy crap. And they're all still sitting right here under the hippos.
I think they've obviously caught on to you and they know you do videos, so they know to send you decent items since you're like free advertising for them.
Yeah. So you should start doing your live openings.
Oh, Kids Deal says girlfriend jeans are good too. Yeah, I've heard of that brand, but I've never found it. I'm pretty sure that's like up there with like Frame and Mother.
What are they?
Girlfriend, but it's spelled without the
I'm like up in the chat still.
Okay.
Brian wants to know, not jean related, how the remotes are amazing. They're at like 2% sell-through rate right now. Returns for jeans, how are yours?
I'm at like 4.5%, 5%.
We're at like 1.5 overall for the whole store. Like I said, we're selling more remotes than anything right now. My jeans are mostly going on Posh anymore, but I don't know. I don't get that many, knock on wood, and I think it's because I put so many measurements in there.
Yeah,
Maybe.
you have like the extra too that I don't put in there. Adventures in Reselling, it's just my name, Megan Mawhinney. Says my ThredUp shoebox, a mess. The shoes actually damaged themselves in shipping. That sucks. They didn't have them individually like wrapped in plastic or anything.
I'm still way up from you. I'm trying to work my way down. That's okay. I don't have Better Barbie asked if I don't know if I do have a video on how we do our inventory. I have a really cringy one that was like the third video I ever made back in 2017, 18, whenever I first started. And I talk about how we were revamping and we were implementing a system. But I don't think I've ever done a video like you did. But mine is exactly like Megan's pretty much, except mine aren't laminated.
Okay. How do you hold on your little tag? You just clip it on then?
Paper clip.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, thank you. And Reselling, I appreciate it.
Oh, I like Guess jeans too.
That's funny. I don't like that brand unless it's, well, actually, I take that back. I just got a pair, but they were like a faux leather and they were like an ombre down the pant legs.
That's cool.
Other than
we do really well with them. Like I'll get like 25 to 30 for them. And even Casey's like, how do you do that? And I'm like, I'm magic. No, it's the Daredevil boot cut and the Foxy Flare specifically.
Yeah, I've never found those styles before.
Those two specifically.
Maybe that's
do I always dump unknown brands as poop? If they're unknown to me, I don't immediately dump them as poop. I'll look them up. Like if they come in the ThredUp box, I guess is what you mean, Pete. And then we have a box upstairs called the poop box. It literally says poop for a rainy day. I wrote it in a marker. And if we ever got to where we were snowed in or couldn't get out to source, I have those if I actually was desperate for stuff to list. It's poop for a rainy day. But at the end of the year, it all goes to Goodwill. So I don't always. I have never found Diesel or Balmain. Again,
I found Diesel a couple times, but every time I find it, I think it's like fake first, and then I go look it up, and it's like, oh no, like this is legit.
Hi, Nancy Joe. How do we do altered jeans? I just measure them, put the measurements in, and then notate and the listing. Usually in two places, the box at the top and in the box at the below that they've been hemmed or whatever.
Susan, what was your question? Susan said, I've been asking that, Valerie, and no answer.
I think that was the question, that how do we deal with altered jeans?
Oh, okay. Shopping on the Low says, have you ever ran across any fake brand of jeans that you sell? Yes, actually. For me, now that I'm really close to Mexico, I'm finding a lot of fake designer jeans. And I think it's because there are a lot of flea markets around here. And if you go to these flea markets, you'll see that there are a lot of like knockoff items that have been like, I don't know where they're imported from, but I see a lot of knockoff Page jeans, and particularly.
There's a Rare Keith sighting.
What?
A Rare Keith sighting.
Hello.
He exists, Brian Quist, if you're watching. Yeah, I did answer. So if I get them home and I find out they're altered or hemmed, I notate that in the listing and then put in the measurements.
And sometimes for me, if I have space in the title, I'll put hemmed like at the end of the title, just so I know like whoever looks at this listing will know that there's something wrong with the jeans.
Surprise! People don't read or look at pictures. I mean, sometimes being a reseller really makes me question things. Have you ever seen the movie Idiocracy?
I think I have. Yeah, that's where like everyone gets like really dumb in the future, right? Yes, I've seen that.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like we're headed in that direction.
I hope not.
I mean, not to be rude, but I mean, just the things that you see and hear as a reseller, you're like, oh my God, what is wrong with people? Brian says we're already living it. It's got electrolytes. Do you remember that part?
I do briefly, but I don't remember like the whole context around it. I remember saying that it was some type of like weird drink, right?
It was like Gatorade, but they were watering all the crops.
Yes,
with it.
Yes. Yeah, because
it's got electrolytes, what plants crave. And everything was dying and they couldn't figure out why.
I forgot about that movie.
That was a great movie. It's so funny.
And that's where we're headed.
Yeah, it's got electrolytes. That's what plants crave.
John says, what's the grossest thing you have found in a pair of jeans or pants? For me, it's crotch stains, not necessarily something in the pocket, but actually like gross in the pants.
Specifically in women's pants. I won't say what it is, but
I have to check them all. Literally every pair of pants before I list it, I do check.
I check them in the store now.
Oh yeah, that too.
It's so huge with me. And then like Keith takes everything in the bags. And we even leave like the Goodwill tags on it. We leave them in the car after we source, and he just takes all that and dumps it in the washer and then the dryer, just right out of the bag. But he leaves the tags on them, so when I do my haul video after he brings them in all clean, I can see the collar, so I can tell people what I paid for it.
Oh, that's right, because you have the plastic barb tag.
Yeah, it's like that. I have one here.
I was thinking paper tag, and I'm like, how does that hold up through the
Oh, they're just like this, and then you can always see how they're like kind of curled up from the dryer when I hold them up. But he, like I said, he just dumps everything in and washes it and dries it and then brings it in for my haul video.
But you can still end up with...
He won't see that. And then I'll see it when I go to measure him and I'm like, oh, that's worse than shoes. No. So I wonder what people think about me when I'm at the thrift now and I'm like, crotches everywhere.
You're going to think you're like a weirdo. Like,
does that woman go through the crotches and all the pants? Why, yes, I am.
You have to, though, because there are so many times I've gotten home and found something like big and nasty in there and it doesn't wash out.
I can't. That's worse than shoes.
Right. You want a drink?
Yeah, Simper apparatus. I've heard that, but no, thank you. That ups the price. So other than that, the grossest thing I've ever found is because he puts them through the wash and the dryer, like the tissues, what happens to them after the wash and the dryer?
Oh, I hate it. They're like a little like ball.
And they like disintegrate and they're all stuck. Yeah. And you're like, I want to lint roll that, but did their snot disintegrate in the wash and the dryer? I'm gonna gag myself out.
Like the heat from the dryer would kill any germs, right?
I don't know. Oh my gosh. Yes, Pete, be very paranoid and check all the crotches. Well, here's a very good tip for you guys, not just because of that gross thing that you can find, but a lot of women's jeans, the first place you'll find where they're starting to wear thin or get stretched out, or is there a technical term for where, you know what I mean, Megan, when it gets stretched out and it looks ruched up?
Yeah, I don't know what it's called. I just call it stretching in the listing when I make a note of it.
It's all wrinkly and ruched.
Yeah, because the elastic in it has been stretched out too far.
Yeah. So the most common place you're going to find that on women's jeans is on the inner thighs, because not everybody's lucky enough to have a thigh gap. Or, they rub together. So that's a good place to look anyway. That's where they're going to wear out first on a women's pair of jeans.
Valerie
Fupa
had a buyer request return for distressed jeans saying they were destroyed. Funny you say that. I have had that happen twice now. The last one was an international buyer, and they opened an INAD saying there was a hole in the knee. No kidding. Like I said, distressed in the title, and there was a picture. And eBay made me accept it. And because shipping was going to be so expensive from England back to the US, I ended up settling with her for a partial refund. Yeah, I've had 2 INADs for that. So you're not alone, Valerie, but you have to accept it. You can't really fight those.
Yeah, I mean, the only way you could try to avoid that, again, no one reads, but if they're distressed and they have holes, I'll put both, like distressed, ripped, holes.
I put that in there now. Like I'll put has distressed holes on pant. Like I won't just put distressed. I'll put that it has holes, because apparently distressed and holes are 2 different things.
Yep. Or you could put ripped or destroyed. You can actually put destroyed and then they don't have a leg to stand on. Yeah. Susan says, I never sell damaged jeans. You're doing yourself a disservice, because a lot of times damaged jeans sell for more money.
Yeah. People like the distressing, especially like a raw hem. That's a really trendy thing right
now. The
now.
raw hem, the cutoff booty shorts, as long as you give good measurements, and I guess you have to cover yourself with all the adjectives: distressed, ripped, destroyed, hole. There's a hole in the knee.
With a circle around it.
So I used to work in the healthcare field before I did reselling, and I do know about the hydrogen peroxide trick for blood, but no.
What?
Hydrogen peroxide takes blood stains out.
Oh, does it not?
It does.
Oh.
Yeah, like the girls that I used to take care of, we'd take them to the dentist, and they would dribble blood on their blouses, you know. And when we got them home, we'd put that on their blouses or whatever. They'd get scraped knees, but it does work. It took it right out. But that's, you know, her blouse you're going to wash and she's going to wear it again. It's somebody else's blood that I don't know. I don't care if you can take it out and sterilize it and have a team of CSI come through here and tell me there's no more on it. I'm not selling those. I'm not touching them. And they're going in the garbage.
See, that's something that I guess we're different on. Depending on like what it is or how bad it is, if I can get it out, I'm good.
Susan says, I mean the stretch one, too many returns. All right, here, Susan, do me a favor. If you have a question, type it in, 3 question marks in the front, put your specific question. That's why we won't miss it this time. We'll get to you.
Sometimes that chat goes up really quick if a bunch of people type and then you just miss.
Yeah, and sometimes I'll go up, like I was telling you, I'm way up here. You can like kind of hold it to stay in one spot, but then you have to kind of scroll back down, and then a team of us. Listen, y'all, here's the thing. I may have worked in the healthcare field in my prior life, and I used to clean up bodily fluids and vomit and change adult diapers and stuff, but that was because I was taking care of people that I actually cared about, and they couldn't do things for themselves. That's one thing. Reselling, I don't want any of that. I don't want used shoes. I don't want any of this gross crap. It's just not happening. I don't know who it belonged to. I don't have any form of professional or emotional attachment to them. It's different when you're taking care of a human being who can't help themselves. Do you know what I mean?
I don't mind dumping the bleach on it and trying to clean it up.
No. No.
Especially denim, because denim doesn't bleach like right away, especially like a medium wash. Like you can put bleach on there with like some soap and it won't make it white instantly. So you have a little bit of working time. But.
And it's still got somebody else's freaking DNA on there. No, thank you.
But you're going to wash it and dry it, and that heat from the dryer will kill anything.
So they say. I don't know. It's funny because a lot of people do ask me, like, how are you so heebie-jeebied out about so many things when you used to do this for a living? And I'm like, I guess it's just different when it's connected to a human being that you're taking care of.
Yeah, and not just some random item from a thrift store. Yeah,
it's different. I always felt, I don't know. I would always get too attached. That was my problem. CSI and DNA. I'm telling you. Listen, and how do you know those bloodstains you are cleaning out aren't part of some unsolved cold case, and you're just doing a disservice to some young victim whose murder has never been solved?
So what should you do? Throw them away in a dumpster and then nothing will ever come of it? I don't know.
Drop them off at the police station with a note. I found bloodstained pants in this shirt at the thrift store.
Like every week you're bringing like a couple pair.
Test these. See if they match into your cold case DNA.
No.
So the stretch listing polling is a flaw. I don't necessarily list it as a flaw. I just say it's there. I try to denote it. I had a return forced on me on Poshmark once, which kind of was really BS. So they had that wrinkly stuff, whatever you want to call it, from stretching out. I had photographs of it. I described it. I notated it. And when she got them, she said that it wasn't. No, this is one I won. I may have won this one. Because she was saying that she didn't know they were that stretched out and she wouldn't have paid $40 for a pair of jeans had she known. And I'm like, okay, well, here, and here.
Poshmark is pretty good about like actually like reviewing both sides and making a decision, whereas eBay is just like buyer wins all the time, you know.
Typically. I've had a couple forced on me that really irked me.
Really?
Yeah, like this one lady, like you could tell she had folded the jeans at the knee to make the hem look shorter.
I had someone, it was a pair of shoes, and they uploaded a picture of a flaw on a completely different pair of shoes, and Poshmark sided with them. But they let me keep my money too. So I guess it was like neutral, but still, why would you give them back their money if it wasn't even the same item? eBay
does that too. When I do partial refunds, when they return stuff differently, they'll just give them their money back. They let me keep mine, and then they... Yeah. Do I wear bins at the gloves? Well, we don't go to the bins anymore. I talked about this in my live show last week, but the bins was a really good way for us to start our business. Absolutely. With $20, we got started. And just kept turning over our profits at the bins until we had enough to stop going there. I always say the bins was something we did it was something we had to do. So you do what you have to do until you don't have to anymore. And once we could afford off the rack and wholesale purchases like the remotes. But I did wear gloves there. And then I would also wash my hands in the bathroom before we left and sanitize in the parking lot and then make Keith go across the street to this grocery store where I could wash them again. I
don't shop at the bins, but I think it's gross. And if I did shop there, I would definitely wear gloves.
If I have room and Pete's asking about whiskers, I'll put whiskers or whiskering if there's room.
Yeah.
Puckering is the word I was looking for. Sorry to cut you off.
For that is a really good word to describe it. Yeah, puckering.
I kept saying ruching, which I think is a PA term that most people are like, what the heck is she saying when she says ruching?
Well, ruching is like the when it's like cinched up, which is like a nice detail. This is like a flaw. So
yeah, puckering.
Yeah, puckering. That's a good word.
A trouser leg, I think, just because I've seen it on so many Gap jeans, like on the tag by the manufacturer. I think trouser legs are like the really wide.
Yeah, I think that too. It's like a wider, well, normally it's like a flare or a wide leg in itself, but then like the band on the bottom is normally like a 2-inch hem, it seems like.
Yeah, they're like kind of bell-bottomy flare, wide leg.
Yeah.
And they often look more like dress slacks than jeans, but they're still denim.
Yeah. And a lot of times, like the back pockets might not be styled like a regular jean back pocket. It will like look a little bit different, like a little nicer, like a dress pant back pocket.
And sometimes they have those Class B buttons.
What's that?
I'm really brain farting. It's a metal piece that slides into another metal piece, and there's usually two.
Oh, like not like a buckle, but like
it's two small metal slides that go into the hooks on the other side.
Oh, like the little metal, it's like a little metal bracket.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
You're like, Star? Yes, I sell jeans and I'm good at it and I know things.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
I know things. It's not a hook and an eye. That's different. That's like what you see on dresses and bras and stuff.
Yeah.
John
says What is a boyfriend leg or cut? That's more of like the leg shape is probably going to be like a straight or a slim, but a boyfriend is like the actual cut of the jean. Like it's kind of like looser, more relaxed, like slouchy.
It's kind of like women's jeans that look like men's jeans.
Yeah, kind of like a hybrid.
Yeah, and they usually say on the tag if they're boyfriends, so you don't have to worry about trying to figure it out. They'll usually, because that's touted, like a lot of people like that style.
Yeah. I wouldn't use that to describe it unless the tag actually said boyfriend, because they look like a straight leg jean normally, and you wouldn't know that's what it was unless they said, like, hey, this is a special boyfriend fit.
Yeah, boyfriend and girlfriend usually are always said.
Yeah.
Tiffany asks, do you feel like you sold more jeans once you passed a certain quantity? Yes, and that's with anything. Yeah. So the more you have of anything listed and the more listings you have overall, the more you're going to end up selling. Some of my favorite men's jeans. Woo woo. Let's do those. What's your top 3 men's jeans?
I like Adriano Goldschmied. I feel like I say that wrong every time I'm live. Adriano Goldschmied.
Schmied.
Right?
Yes.
AG men's jeans. And Joe's jeans for men.
And the third one.
Oh, a third?
Oh, a third. Top 3.
Oh my gosh. 7 for All Mankind.
That was hard. My top men's jeans, I'm sure that my longtime viewers could probably tell me in the chat. The BKE men's jeans that have like Cody, Tyler. There's like so many of them, but they all have men's names on them. I routinely list those for 60 and get 50 to 55.
That's nice.
Quickly. I pay $6.99 for those. I don't care. I love them. And probably my next favorite is the Black Label buckle, BKE Black Label for men.
I don't think I've ever found that.
I found like 2 pairs. I do really well. I have one right now that I just listed. Or did I just source it? I don't know. So many jeans. And then my third one, I've only ever found one time ever in the wild, and it was new with tags. Rock Revival.
Oh wow, a men's rock revival?
New with tags. Remember the men's it was a long time ago, you may not. But I had the True Religion new with tags that I was questioning if they were real or not.
I don't remember.
It was a long time ago. But I found the True Religion and the Rock Revival on the same day, and they sold for like $85 or $90.
Wow. Yeah, I don't think I've ever found men's rock revival.
Megan has the second best channel. We have hippos.
You can't say that on Star's channel.
I even said that like a Valley girl. I was like, excuse me. Megan has the second best channel. Yeah, Rock Revival's really good. But I say this all the time, but we really just don't have Pittsburgh is very much a blue collar town. There's a lot of factories here and a lot of middle class, and there's nothing wrong with that, but when you find high end at the thrift store here, it's like, oh my God, it's Lucky Brand. Like you can go to our expensive mall. I think I took Bill and David there. I think I took Sydney there to show them. But if you go to our rich people mall here, that's what people around here consider high end. And Talbot's, Chico's, Lucky Brand. Yeah.
Here they've got some big malls that have I went to one in Dallas, and like the whole mall was like really expensive designer brands, like the whole mall. I'm like, who can afford to even come here? It was like Gucci store and
wow.
Gosh,
like I can't even afford the food court here.
Right? No, like the entire store was like really expensive. Like I couldn't find like a cheap store like American Eagle in there at all. But
I don't think there's one that, I mean, this mall, it might have that, but it has high end for our area. Men's Warehouse.
oh wow.
They might have a True Religion store in there, but a BKE. All right, we are a little over an hour. So you guys, if you have any questions we did not get to or you want us to answer, throw them in the chat now because we're going to stay on for just a couple more minutes and take a couple more questions. Put them in there now.
Oh, there's
oh, yeah. Did you see that, Brian? I'm looking at the microphone like I can see Brian. So put your questions in there. And then I'm a really bad host, and I absolutely forgot to put Megan's information in the description box.
It's okay. Just look me up. I'm probably the only one with that name.
I'm a horrible host. And when live videos upload on YouTube from StreamYard, it actually takes like an hour.
Oh, wow. That much?
A long time. Yeah. So if I remember tonight, if not first thing in the morning, I'll know it's up. Red-breasted key sighting. I snorted. I'll try to get her information in the description box for you guys. But listen, she's in our Facebook group, and you can tag her in there. Join our Facebook group too. Little plug for us. Flippin' Hippos Reseller Pod. She's Mawhinney Megan on Instagram.
Yes, last name, first name. Yeah.
And it's on the screen. You guys can see it. Megan Mawhinney.
That's how you spell it.
Flip that for Instagram, and then flip it back for YouTube.
Yeah.
And that's how you find Megan. She's her name everywhere. Do you know anything about the 6397D made in Italy?
Never heard of that.
No, me neither. I mean, we're not that fancy here. And before I started reselling, I didn't know anything about clothes. I was hashtag fashion dumb and didn't care either. I bought comic book t-shirts and Doctor Who t-shirts, and I lived in my Old Navy rock stars and my Skechers sneakers I've been wearing for 40 years. The same pair I buy over and over when one wears out.
I didn't know anything about high-end labels. Like, I bought stuff from the mall, like, you know, American Eagle. When I was in high school, I wore like Abercrombie and Hollister. Like, I didn't know about any like designer labels until I started reselling.
I was goth in high school, so.
Oh gosh, we probably would have not been friends.
But yeah, I didn't know anything. And so everything I've learned has been here. And I don't have a lot of learning opportunities here in the thrift. So I learned a lot from Megan. And then the ThredUp box is like you said, yours was all trash, but I still feel like I learned a lot. I never would have known about J-Brand. I can't say never, like when we eventually move or whatever. But now I know about Madewell, J-Brand, Frame, which I thought was poop.
And girl, whenever you find that, which I've never found yet, but one day.
Got them in a ThredUp box, priced over $500 new. Listed them for $99. You go, girl. I probably would have done more on that because I was going to say greedy, but I'm not. I'm not greedy. I'm just like to maximize profit so that I have more capital to build my business.
Yes. Yes.
And I like to be comfortable and live my life.
Don't we all?
I like to live my best life, and that includes coffee and other creature comforts. Oh, speaking of Megan and everyone in the chat,
Yes.
not that anyone cares, but Keith and I went to Starbucks yesterday, and I tried their smoked butterscotch for the first time. And oh my God. Have you ever had it?
I've never even heard of that.
I had the iced smoked butterscotch latte, and I looked up the difference because I'm still like I go to Starbucks and I'm overwhelmed and I'm like I don't know what to do here. So I looked up the difference between iced coffee and latte, and apparently a latte is a shot of espresso with milk, and iced coffee. Iced coffee is just coffee over ice with some milk or whatever. But
okay.
Something
New today.
Yeah, I look this stuff up all the time because coffee's getting too fancy. But anyway, my favorite coffee creamer in the whole entire world, if y'all ever see it, get it. International Delight Southern Butter Pecan. It is delicious, right? If you like butter pecan.
I don't even drink coffee. So what would I do with it? Just drink it by itself?
Yes. Anyway, that's my favorite creamer in the whole world, and it's kind of hard to find up here. It's real popular down south, obviously. But anyway, this butterscotch I got yesterday tasted like that. It was heaven, and I was happy. And that is why I sell my Pride high so that I can have butterscotch.
Go get your little butterscotch drink from
Oh,
Starbucks.
it was so good.
Every day.
Okay, we have a couple more questions and then we'll wrap it up. Should I sell on eBay International because of smaller sizes? I mean, you could turn global shipping program on and it's nothing more for you than mailing stuff to Kentucky.
Yeah.
Okay, what advice would you give someone, asks Corlu. What advice would you give someone that's starting out on eBay when it comes to selling jeans?
Don't pick up junk brands because mine are sitting.
What?
Don't pick up junk brands because mine are still sitting. Jeans are long tail in general, so whatever you buy, just be aware that it may sit for a long time before it will sell. But look for higher end pieces. Don't just grab any old thing because you're going to be sitting on it for a long time. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, no, I mean, that's how we learned. We bought everything that was 99 cents, brought home, and found out, don't ever get it again. This is bread and butter, or oh my God, get this again.
Yeah.
But we have a lot of crap sitting still.
Me too.
That we're still culling through and trying to clearance. And I was telling Megan just before we went live, I'm actually deleting like 10 to 15 listings every week from our total that we're just pulling out of our inventory and putting in these great big boxes. I guess we'll just box them up all year because no matter when we donate them, you can't get the write-off until you file for 2020 and 2021. So we'll probably just
sit for the year and then get rid of them, like one big trip at the end of the year.
Yeah, or we could have a blizzard. You know, it's still very much winter here. We could get snowed in and not be able to get out and source, and I'll be forced to go back out to the poop pile.
Re-photograph the junk.
Yes.
Kids deals. Yeah, no, I don't drink coffee. I just don't like it. How do you know those listings? Wait, do you do those listings, wife, mom, and no coffee? Now you're my hero. I mean, coffee doesn't do anything for me, and I don't know why. It doesn't make me like all hyped up and peppy.
Me neither. I just like the taste of it, honestly. I like iced coffee and I like certain flavors. I do get headaches though. If I don't have at least one coffee, 1 to 2 coffees or soda a day, I get headaches.
My husband says that too, like with the soda. I think you guys have like an addiction problem.
It probably is an addiction. I do put an entire cup of coffee every morning in my protein shake. So it's like a frappe. And then I have a soda with dinner and I nurse it. I mean, we're 3 hours out from supper and I'm still I nurse it.
Nursing that soda.
I do 3 of these a day of water. It's I cannot math in my head. It's like 96 ounces total.
That's
do
really good.
3 of these, the 1 coffee and the frappe and 1 can. And then if I start to have a headache mid-afternoon, I'll get a nice coffee.
You're drinking a lot of water though, so I think the coffee and then the soda is probably fine. My husband like lives off of soda. He doesn't drink enough water.
I drink a lot of water. That's 96 ounces. And as far as going out for coffees like that, it's usually just like I can't even say it's once. It's not often. It's a special treat. Like if we're out running errands, we're like, oh, do you want to get a coffee? I'll treat, or I'll treat. You treated last time. We get free stuff too. Like I have every app for every place where you get the points, and I'm like, oh, we have free coffee at Cheats or whatever.
Oh, that's right. Starbucks has that little rewards program, don't they?
Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm supposed to give my best advice for new to jeans real quick.
Yes. We got sidetracked.
Measurements. Make sure you're getting the measurements and putting those along with the tag size in your description box. I see this a lot of times in my group where people aren't doing both. It's important to do both because jeans can stretch and jeans can shrink and people need to see both. You can legit, I saw a post, I don't know if Megan remembers this because I don't remember where I saw it, but somebody had a picture of like 10 different pairs of jeans, the exact same size, some the same brand, some different brands, all laid on top of each other, and they were all different. Do you remember that?
I do remember that. Yeah. I've seen a lot of, it wasn't just your post either. I've seen other people posting that as well. And it's true. Like whoever wears it, some of them get stretched out, some of them shrink.
Well, they come out of the factory that way too, is from what I understand, because they have a cutter.
Yeah.
And they'll cut through like 10, a stack, 10 pairs or whatever at a time. And then the ones on the bottom are going to be smaller than the ones on the top because it cuts.
Yeah.
So even brand new with tags measure.
Yeah, they cut them in big batches. I've seen some YouTube videos of factories, and it's like huge stacks of fabric that they lay out.
Yeah. So my biggest advice is to measure. And here's the thing. It's tedious. It's really tedious. It's so tedious. But, if you have time, search my channel. I did a 3-video series over Christmas on how I measure, photograph, and list my jeans. And it's catered to people with bad backs and disabilities. I show you how I do it. I have 3 rolly chairs. It's cool. But even if you're not disabled, it is tedious. So just set yourself up. Put a stack of 10 or 20 jeans here. Turn on a TV show you like, a podcast you like, get a drink, soda, water, coffee, whatever you like, and then settle in for the duration. And you'll be surprised. It takes hardly any time to get through a stack of 10 or 20 if you're not sitting there thinking about, this is taking too long. This is tedious. I hate doing this. If you're just whipping through it while you're listening to something you enjoy or watching something else. I don't know. My favorite part is measuring jeans, even more than photographing Plush, to be honest with you guys.
Yeah, I do like that part where I fill out my little card with the measurements, just because I feel like it's streamlined, it's easy. It is repetitive, but I don't know, like I'm not bending over doing pictures. I can just sit in one spot and just, keep going.
Yeah, I say that all the time. I think I actually talked about it with Katie and Vicky last week. I think a lot of it for me, honestly, is because I have anxiety and OCD. And anything like that that's strictly routine and very calming and very ritualistic.
Maybe that's why I do all my stuff in these like very exact steps, because it just makes me feel like calm.
Yeah, once you create that ritual, it helps to soothe any anxiety you have about death piles or anything else. Because you're like, I'm working through it. I'm doing this. This is my ritual. These are my steps. This is what I do in this order every time. The same thing.
Yeah.
And I can listen to my true crime podcast. I just love it. It's the most calming part of my day. I actually take rolls of eBay tape and use them as coasters and put my drink in it so I don't knock it over while I'm measuring.
I use my eBay tape to hold up my little tripod for my camera or my phone for when I do like Instagram Live. That's what I use my eBay tape for.
Hey, it's good for that too. I used to, when I would stream on Netflix or Hulu while I was measuring jeans, I'd prop my phone on the tape.
Yep.
But now I'm doing podcasts. But all right, one more question and then we're gonna go. I think we already answered this, but Lori may not have heard the answer the first time. If measurements for jeans are different than the tag size, which size do you put in the item specifics?
Oh, me or you?
Sure, you can answer.
Oh, sure. I do. If it's men's, I'll put in what it actually is. But in the listing, in the description, I'll put both. But the title, I'll put like the tag. And then if there is space, I'll put like, the tag says like 33, 32. But then I'll put like 31-inch inseam after that if there's space. So I do both.
Yeah, in the item specifics in the title, I put what's on the tag. Excuse me. And if there's room, but the title is such valuable real estate. There's so much to cram in there. You just gotta kind of decide what's most important.
Well, if I have room, because spelling the word inseam is kind of long, but if there's space, I will definitely throw it on the end.
Yep, if there's room. The best way to think about which keywords you want to get in there, which are most important for your, I call it the real estate space in your title. Think about what you or someone would be looking for. So put those in there. People probably look up whether it's boot cut, boyfriend, flare, because that's the kind of style they like. They'll probably look up the medium or light wash because they know what kind of shade they like. They're going to clearly look for the size.
And the brand, that's like number one.
Yeah, the brand, women's jeans, size, boom. Anything after that is where you're going to get
Like your fill-in fluff, if you have room for anything.
Yes, your fluff. Your fill-in fluff. It should always be brand, women's, jeans, size, boom, the rest. And you can abbreviate size with just an S and a Z, and it will still show up in the search if they type the whole word out. If you didn't know that, and that will save you 2 characters for that important real estate. And don't apostrophe women's. That's a waste of space too.
What?
Don't put the apostrophe in.
Oh, yeah, I don't feel like anyone is going to be all proper and put that in when they're like on their phone or online looking.
Oh, and your store name before we go.
Oh, it's shop_the_sandcastle.
So I'm going to type it in. I am a regular stalker. Every time I find, well, not that much anymore, but when I find jeans new to me, I literally will comp them off of Megan's store before I comp them off of eBay sold.
Because you know mine will be really high. It's like a safe number.
Yeah, Megan's will be high, but it's also, like I said at the beginning of the video, if you didn't hear, even silver jeans, you can see them on eBay now listed for 20 and 25, which to me is ridiculous because we're getting that for mall brands.
Yeah.
So I would not use W for women. I would type WOMENS.
Yeah.
Yep. You can abbreviate that size to SC. That's pretty much it. Just take out extra characters you don't need. And don't put in superfluous words like rare.
Wow.
Wow.
Nice.
Nice. Pretty cool. Yeah. Anything like that. You want just the keywords that are specific to what you're listing. The rise, the color, the wash. Are they destroyed, ripped, have a hole, destroyed, damaged? Any of those? I'm laughing because of the earlier one.
No.
Boot cut, flare, straight leg, boyfriend, girlfriend. But yeah. Okay. Do I get any? Listen, if J-Lo is in the house, she's coming home with me.
The J-Lo jeans I've seen are like the old styles from like the early 2000s. I don't think I've seen any like recent. Is that what you're getting, is the old styles?
I just grab them all because they're 99 cents. I'm telling you, they go super fast. They do not sit in my, they move faster than the Chico's So Lifted.
And you know what's funny? I saw in your last, when you did that ThredUp unboxing, I don't know if it was that, you found a pair of Angels jeans. And I love Angels jeans. They do so well for me. So that was funny because you were like, oh, these don't do too good. But
I was like, well, they're usually poop, but I'll call them bread and butter. I don't really do that great with Michael Kors.
me either.
I'll get them if they're new at tags.
I
But
think that's kind of a brand that's been like overhyped, and there's just a lot of it that ends up in those secondary department stores like, you know, Ross and TJ Maxx. It's really cheapened the brand.
yeah, it can. Orvis is being sold at Costco now, from what I understand. Which kind of, but I just listed an Orvis sweatshirt today. When I comped it, it was still comping around 40. I'm like, okay, so they're still holding tight.
For now.
All right, we're gonna wrap this up, you guys. We've been here for about an hour and a half. Megan's got 2 chillins. Stuff to do. And I'm sure you guys need to go measure your jeans and get them listed now that we've given you all these great tips. So again, you can find Megan on Instagram at Mawhinney Megan. Her YouTube is Megan Mawhinney. Her store is shop_the_scan. Would you like to say it?
Shop the sandcastle with some underscores in between the words.
Shop_the_sandcastle. I want to say shop castle. And if you do have some spare time, just a couple, like 10 minutes, do yourself a favor, go to her store, look through it, look at what she's pricing stuff at, look at how she's formulating her titles, look at the keywords she's using, the brand she's selling, and most importantly, what she's pricing them at so that you're not part of the problem.
These are plastic knives, by the way, that he has, just so you guys know.
You do you, Mom. No one to judge. So I would still list your white pair of MK size 4. Why not? Put them up for 25. See what happens. And thank you so much for the $2 super chat, Stephanie Oram. I really appreciate it. You helped feed a hungry hippo today. So again, stalk Megan on Instagram and her store. You can learn a lot from her. Watch her YouTube videos, join our Facebook group. You can talk to her in there. And if you need us, flippinhipposhelp@gmail.com or in the Facebook group, please. And I'm on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at flippinhippos. Thank you, Megan, so much for coming on tonight. Thank you.
Thank you guys for stopping by.
And I got to figure out which computer and which mouse I have to use to. Okay.
Bye, you guys.
Bye, guys. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. It was a blast. And as always, go be productive. Go make some money. You guys are the best. Bye.